If only I'd been more careful, this never would have happened. If only I'd thought things through, I wouldn't be in this situation here, now, in the hospital, typing this out while sitting in this hospital bed, hoping that if the thing that got to me isn't just about me, if there's others out there it's also happening to, that they can learn from my mistake. I just hope it's not already too late. I just hope there's still something that can be done in time. I just hope my warning doesn't go unheard. Don't be stupid and end up like me. I found a box on my porch last week. A giant, nondescript cube of cardboard sitting right outside my front door. I probably should have realized something was up right off the bat. I wasn't expecting a delivery. Stranger still, the box was completely devoid of anything to identify its origin, destination, or purpose. There was no shipping label, no plastic pouch with an invoice, no "this side up" arrow, no nothing. It was a completely anonymous cardboard box. But clearly it was intended for me. It was placed directly on my porch, directly outside my door. I'll admit, there was a moment of doubt in my mind. What if some psycho had put this there? What if there were hacked up human body parts inside, their blood soon to leach through the bottom in ugly spreading crimson stains, like devastating black death escaping the shattered carapace of an oil tanker in the Gulf of Mexico? What if it was full of burned DVDs of child pornography, scraped from the deepest, darkest corners of the internet? A box of incriminating evidence placed directly into my hands just before a SWAT team coincidentally showed up at my door? You're being ridiculous, I thought. This is either a package meant for you or some stupid prank. Just open the damn thing. I wish I never did. I'll bring the box inside and open it, settle this, and stop being so irrational. I bent down to lift the package, and expecting it to be heavy, nearly threw it through the roof of the veranda when I lifted it. It was light, very light. Whatever was in it weighed almost nothing. The majority of that emptiness inside was probably filled with those styrofoam packing peanuts. I brought the box into the kitchen and grabbed a small paring knife from the drawer. I bent down on one knee to slice the clear packing tape that sealed the top flap shut, and a strange, unwanted thought entered my mind. I was a butcher, ready to slice open the carcass of a pig. A hunter, about to field dress a murdered deer. A surgeon, ready to slice open the chest of an unwilling patient and steal their heart for a black market transplant. The blade split the tape cleanly, perfectly in half, almost surgically, just like my last strange mental image. When I ran it over the center where there was a gap between the flaps, there was a small sound as air escaped. The last exhale of an unwilling patient. Whoever had packed this thing had done so that it was damn near hermetically sealed. I cut the remaining parts of the tape sealing the box flaps to the sides, and I'll admit that as I did, excitement rose in my chest in anticipation of finally discovering the mysterious package's contents. I lifted the flaps and opened the top of the box to reveal that it contained nothing. There was nothing in it. The box was empty. The box was empty. There was nothing in it. What? This doesn't make any sense. This doesn't make any sense. This is fucking surreal. There has to be something. Something! In disbelief, I ran my hands all through the inside, touching all of it, pressing my palms against the smooth cardboard, then hitting it, grabbing it, punching it. No, there was nothing. It was empty. Empty. Empty inside. Unreal. Fucking unreal. Surreal. A strange smell, a chemical, antiseptic smell mixed with something metallic was in the box, and now the air around me. I brought my hand to my face and could smell it on it too from where I had touched the cardboard. The box was empty now, but there had been something in it once. Something which left behind this strange smell that now filled my kitchen and coated my hands. Eau de Union Carbide, the latest fragrance from Paris. The smell of sterile green hospital corridors filled with patients dragging IVs hanging from little metal trees. The smell of a surgeon's instruments laid out in their roll ready to make the incision. The smell of sitting behind the curtain in a hospital gown and waiting for death. The smell of humans being treated like pieces of meat. I sat on the floor in disbelief. It just didn't make any sense. Where the hell had this come from? Why would someone drop an empty box on my porch? Very clearly personally delivered by hand to me with nothing inside. It defied all logical explanation. What was this? What was this? I kicked the box aside in disgust. Fuck this. I made dinner. I watched Netflix. I went to bed and dreamt of evil surgeons with giant grins of pointed teeth stabbing me with oversized hypodermic syringes. When I woke up in the morning, the box was still waiting for me, there on the tile of the kitchen floor, a big crease marring the side where I'd kicked it. I got ready for work. I sneezed in the shower and the water running down me turned pink. Great. Another morning nosebleed. Guess I needed to finally get that humidifier like I'd been meaning to. My coworker didn't think it was so strange when I mentioned it to him the next day. "Nah, man, that kind of thing happens all the time," he said, sipping his coffee and hovering over my cube. What the hell are you talking about? Psychos hand deliver empty packages to strangers all the time? Because if they do, this is the first I've heard of it. Nah, it's a mix-up, man. He sipped his coffee again, from one of the old mugs from the kitchen. The one from the local radio contest where they'd spelled the station name wrong. I bet you that for like 95% of its life, that package wasn't even handled by human hands, man. You know what kind of age we're living in now? We're living in the goddamn future, bro. Amazon's got freaking unmanned forklifts buzzing around their warehouses, picking your shit off a shelf and loading it into a truck for delivery, and there aren't even people involved. There doesn't have to be, man. All that shit's numbered and computer coded in the system. Didn't you read that article about that woman in Tucson? Same thing happened to her as what happened to you. She ordered a freaking magic bullet from Amazon. Instead of getting her fancy blender in the mail, a week later she gets this big ass box with a huge piece of conveyor belt machinery from the warehouse in it. Bug in the system, dude. Literally, no humans involved from end to end, and the goddamn robots don't know whether they're packing up a Mix-O-Matic for some old lady or a freaking nuclear bomb. It's automation, dude. It's the future. No system's perfect, and you just so happen to be a bug in the system. Some other guy's on the phone right now bitching out Amazon's customer service reps because he never got his package, and you got an empty box, and some other fucker's got a pile of throw pillows in the mail instead of his box set of Deep Space Nine. I guess so, I said. I mean, it makes sense, but it still doesn't explain how the package got on my porch if there was no shipping label. Whatever, man, he said and made to leave. Not worth losing any sleep over if you ask me. As he turned to leave, a pain gripped my chest and I bent over in my chair. I hacked and coughed over and over again. Oh God, it hurt. It was like there was something stuck in my lungs. I could feel my coworker hovering over me, uncertain of what to do as I kept coughing. I could hear my hacking noises going out over the floor above everyone else's cubes. Finally, whatever demon was squeezing my chest released me and I righted myself. The exertion and pain going left me lightheaded and dizzy. I leaned back in the chair, red-faced and teary-eyed, a self-conscious smile on my face. My coworker was staring. Bro, you alright? Thought I was gonna have to give you the freaking Heimlich. Yeah, I'm good, I said, and coughed again, quieter and under control this time. I cleared my throat and smiled again sheepishly. Just had a weird something, you know, down the wrong pipe. Sure, he said, still staring. He looked like he didn't believe me. He took one last sip of his coffee and turned to leave. Later, man. Days passed, but that cough didn't go away. I figured I was coming down with something. Great. Burning more of my sick days when I should be saving them to play golf in the summer. Whatever. Chicken soup and bad TV, and this will be over soon. Yesterday was when I knew. Yesterday when I woke up and a nosebleed would have been positively welcome. I awoke to a horrible searing pain burning my insides. Razor blades were slicing my viscera into a stack of thinly cut deli meat. Swarms of snakes covered in barbed wire were writhing in my guts and biting out chunks of my soft red flesh. I ran to the bathroom and threw the lid of the toilet up. I fell to my knees and could feel the writhing snakes were making their escape up through my stomach and esophagus. I vomited, wretch after wretch of disgusting reeking ejecta, fountains and fountains of my blood falling into the ruddying water waiting in the bowl. The pain was like nothing I'd ever felt. Finally, it subsided, and weakly I brought myself to my knees. I ran the tap. Cold, cold, cold water poured out noisily. I put my hands under it, grateful for a pain somewhere else, a welcome numbing distraction from the ordeal I'd just experienced. I splashed my face with the frigid water and stared at my weary eyes in the mirror. My weary eyes stared back. I drank the cold from the tap to rid my mouth of the taste of old pennies. I stared at my half-naked self in the mirror. The image came back to me, the grinning devil surgeons and their comically oversized syringes. We're coming for your kidneys. You won't need them when you're dead. Be there soon. I opened the mirror, took a handful of painkillers, and closed it again. Something was horribly wrong. I had to go to the hospital. This was more than a cold. This was more than me failing to control the humidity level of my place during the winter. I called the hospital and explained what happened. I was too weak to drive, I said, afraid of what might happen if I did. Fine, they'd send an ambulance. Be patient. I hung up the phone and went to walk out to the front porch, out to the veranda, where I'd found that stupid fucking empty box, that stupid empty lump of cardboard. When I reached the door was when I put it all together, when all the pieces fell into place. The box, the airtight seal, the smell, my coughing, and the final piece, the final nail in my coffin, hand-delivered just as the box had been. It was a plain white piece of paper slid through the crack underneath the front door. An ocean of white save for 2 tiny lines of text set dead center in the middle of the page. They were the naked, anonymous metal letters banged to the page from an old typewriter. Staring back at me, foreign, alien, and uncaring, their meaning slowly seeped into my addled brain and pushed aside my confusion into a rising horror of realization. Just because a box is empty doesn't mean there's nothing in it.